have all of these degrees, all of these certifications. You have all of these things going for you. You show up, you're dependable, you do a great job at your work, you win awards, but you still feel like you're struggling to survive. You still feel like you can make more impact. You still feel like there's a missing piece. I am here to tell you this session is for you. Let's talk about why so many talented, hardworking educators are still not getting paid for the incredible value that they bring. Are we ready for that conversation? Because there's a reason why. And it might be because you fall into one of these 5 categories of educators. Now, don't get mad at me for telling the truth, but I'm going to tell you about these 5 groups of educators. And if you see yourself in one of these groups, then all you have to do is simply make some changes. So if you're with me live, give me a, hey, what's up? What's going on? And if you're catching this in the replay, give me a hashtag replay. But I want to speak to these specific 5 groups of people, and I'm going to break down each type of group. Okay, so if this is you, just put your hand up in the chat. Just say me. Or are you the one who's always the go-to person at your school when they need somebody to help with the Sunshine Committee, when they need someone to host a superintendent when they come over, or a group is coming to visit the school, they come straight to your room to say, hey, can you welcome this group, meet this group? Or are you the one who's always supporting events, always supporting the students? Or are you the one who's always running workshops, yet no one ever offers to pay you? Hey, Cynthia. Hey, good morning. How are you? Or are you doing the work of what a consultant would be, but not reaping the benefits? Those are called the volunteers. Those are the people who either volunteer or voluntold to do stuff. Hey, Dr. Blade. She said, hey, doc, just waiting for you to get to mine. I'm coming. So those are our volunteers. You're the go-to person. They're always looking for you. They know that you'll help out. They count on your support. And quite frankly, you love being asked to help. Number 2, maybe you are what we call the overachieving teacher. Some of you are already presenting at conferences. Look here, you are already presenting at conferences. You're already training staff. You have probably already written a couple of books, if not 1, maybe 2. Some of y'all have written 3. You have the expertise. You are already doing the work, but for some reason, you're still not being paid like the professional that you are. That's what we call the overachieving teacher. If that's you, go ahead and be honest and put it in the chat. You're already presenting at conferences. You go to your school, you work your school hours, or you work for an education company and you're presenting at conferences, you're training other staff members, you're mentoring new teachers, you're leading programs, you're in all types of stuff from central office where they bring teachers in to support the district. That's you. Yeah, you got expertise, but for some reason, you get a small stipend sometimes, but you know that consultants come in and get paid a lot of money for the same work that you're already doing. Or maybe you're number 3. Let's talk about number 3. These are our favorite education company consultants. And I know because I used to be one of them. Those are the people who work for education companies and they're already doing the work. Just like me, I was already doing the work of a consultant. I was a consultant. I was a consultant for 2 major education companies, but I was only getting a fraction of what the company was making because I didn't know how to secure my own contracts. I didn't know how to go out and get my own clients. And quite frankly, I had no true push to go out and get my own contracts or clients because they were paying me pretty good. But I didn't realize that I was doing all of the work and they were not doing much of anything other than getting the clients. So they were basically the middleman. And when I saw what they were getting paid and what I was getting paid, and I was doing all of the work, and they were only getting the client, I was like, oh my, if I just go out and get my own clients, I can charge the full price. Maybe that's you because you feel like you don't know how to get clients. You feel like you don't, but I'll tell you the truth. A lot of times because we're making good money, and this was also true for me, I didn't give a full effort into going out getting my own clients because I was making enough to pay all of my bills, have a little extra. Dr. Marquita said, that's me working on getting my own clients. Right. So I didn't do anything until my back was against the wall. Like, as long as those checks were rolling in, and when you work as a consultant through your own company, the checks come in multiple times a month. It's not just on a pay schedule because we're not their employee. So I can dictate how much I get paid by the number of days that I work and by making myself more available. And so there was no real reason for me to really need to go out and get my own clients because they were paying me enough. But what happens when you do something, or somebody has a complaint, or they rip the rug from under you, or they decide that they are no longer offering that program, so they no longer need your services? Don't put your fate in other people's hands like that. Number 4 is the retiree or the near retiree. And let's talk about my near retirees and retirees. You done spent decades in education, honey. You done worked 20, 25, 30, 35 years in education, and now you're wondering what's next. What can I do with all of this experience? Can I just go and work at Walmart? Can I just get a little part-time job? Because you know what? We don't want anything that's going to give us a heavy mental load, because we just did 20, 30, 40 years in a school system that required a heavy mental load. So just give us something nice and easy. Let me go work at the pet store where I can play with pets all day. But guess what? That you can make way more money working on your terms, doing the things that you want to do, that you're strong at, and not doing all those other things. We never think about how we can eliminate the things that we don't want and only do the things that we want. And then my 5th group of people, or my I don't know enough people. Some of you all think, I don't know enough people, I can't do what I want to do. I just got to show up to this job every day and just make the best of it. I'm just going to walk out my 20 years. I got 17 years left. Girl, I'm just going to try to make these last 12 years in misery. Those are those people. Those are those people. And so these are people who, if you identify with any of these, be honest about it, because we got to get to a level of awareness. If you saw yourself in any of these groups, let me tell you, it's time to stop waiting and go ahead and take action. Because guess what? There is more for you. You can make additional income. You can pay off those bills. I want us to really be intentional about what it is that we're thinking and what it is that we're really believing. I want us to be more intentional about our dreams and recognize how the school system has made you stop dreaming. Some of you all believe that you can only pay your house off in 30 years. Some of you all believe that you're going to work 2 jobs for the rest of your life. Some of you all believe that this is the best that it can get. Some of you all truly believe that this is the most that you can ever make because that's what that contract said, and you saw what was needed to get to the next level, and you decided you were not doing it. I want us to know that it's not true. I want you to know that's why I created this Get Your First Contract Challenge. It's going to, over 5 days, show you how to pitch your services. It's going to show you how to find decision makers. I'm going to directly show you how to secure contracts and start getting paid for what you already know. We're not going out. We're not doing any new learning. We're not trying to create no big old complicated program. We're not doing any of that. I'm going to show you how to get this done. I'm going to provide the tools and the mindset that you need to stop spinning your wheels. We got to stop. And this challenge starts soon. It starts on January 20th, inauguration day. Did it intentionally. Let's work on bringing in more income into our household instead of paying attention to things that do not benefit us. So it's a step-by-step. I'm going to show you step-by-step how to make 2025 different. You say you want different, but you want to keep doing the same thing, and that doesn't make sense. You have to really imagine the freedom that you're going to get that you're going to feel when you're finally getting paid appropriately for the work that you do. And all I'm asking for is an hour a day, 1 hour for 5 days, 1 hour each day for 5 days. I'm going to give you the steps. I don't need you to think about anything. I'm going to give you the steps. I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm going to give you the templates. I'm going to give you the scripts. I don't need you to think about anything. And I don't want your overthinking to stop you from taking the actions that I'm going to give you to take. I don't want you to let that stop you. I want you to know that I'm going to give you day one I'm going to give you steps to take. Day 2, I'm going to give you steps to take. Day 3, I'm going to give you steps to take. We're not creating anything. We are not learning anything. We are only implementing. We are doing. And from that doing, you are going to see results, because the goal is for you to do and not to be in school, not to try to learn. We're not in school. We're not learning. If you know that you have a skill, an expertise, something that people they come to you for. They come to you for data analysis. They come to you to speak at parent workshops. They come to you to tutor their kids. They come to you to help with the alignment of the curriculum. They come to you because they need you to help be on this committee. Girl, we can sell all of that. And guess what? Replays are available if you cannot make it live. Replays are available. You need to make a decision. This is your chance to make a change and stop giving away your expertise for free. We got to get into the mindset that I do not work for free. They pay you for the 7.5 hours that you're at school. They don't pay you to go home after school to do all that lesson planning. They don't pay you to go to kids' baseball games and all that extracurriculum stuff. They don't pay you for that. That's a choice that you're making. And for some reason, you think that makes you a good teacher. But what does that do to your personal life, your self-care, your children's life, your energy, your time? We got to get this into perspective. And if they want you to do these things, they truly need to pay you for it. But what should really be the thing that you pay attention to is after you work these 25, 30 years and you go to retire, what is your retirement looking like? I just talked to a teacher who has been a teacher for 25 years, and she went to her retirement meeting in just December, hence why she was on the phone with me. She went to her retirement meeting in December, and they told her that her retirement would be $1,800 a month. Y'all, you can't tell me that's okay. $1,800 per month. I talked to another teacher who had been in the school system for 33 years. 33 years, her monthly pension is $3,000 a month. And her exact words to me, she said, I make double this in a month. And now they want me to live off half of my salary, and my house is not paid off. I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. She said, but I can't keep going back to this school to keep working. Well, the answer was obvious for me, or to me. Let's make a decision. Let's begin to consult. I asked her a few key questions, and the light bulb went off. She realized, oh, the reason why I have not made any additional money is because I, A, have not asked, B, I have not tried, and C, I didn't know it was available. She said, well, now that I know, I'm about to go out here and pitch my services. Right? I'm telling you, you just got to know how to pitch. You got to get a little bit of confidence to know that you can do this. I'm telling you, get into this challenge, 5 days, 1 hour a day. I'm going to show you, because especially if you're in one of those 5 groups of people, you are giving away a lot every day. And this doesn't require you to quit your job. You can still work your job every day for those who want to work their job, for those who are ready to transition to their next thing. Because let me free somebody of this. Let me free you of this real quick. You don't have to work. You do not have to work the same job for 30 years. That was in the past. You don't have to do that anymore. You made a decision at 10, 11, 12 that you were going to be a teacher. And now you are 45 and you are struggling, fighting, and trying to keep that dream alive because of a decision that you made when you were 10. You have the right to change your mind. You have the right to decide that you want to do something different. It's okay. You're scared of failing. You're thinking to yourself, what if it doesn't work? Okay, well, let's do a trial run first to see if it works. We can do that. That's why I named this. Let's get your first school contract. Let's get your first contract. Once you get that first one, you'll be able to see, oh, I can get more. I can do more. Oh, I can bring in extra money. You don't have to work those little after school stipends and get $35 an hour working 3 or 4 hours a week. You don't have to do that. What are you working? 6 hours a week times $35 an hour. And then when they take taxes and pension out of it, you're back down to $200. What did that $200 do for you? When I'm telling you, Even if you do parent workshops, you can do a parent workshop for $800 for 1 hour. Come on now. Come on, we gotta think a little different. We're in 2025. We gotta come at this a little different. Now, if you got questions, feel free to put them in the comments, put it in the chat, and I'm more than happy to answer your questions. If you're stuck somewhere, put it in the comments, and I'm more than happy to answer your questions. But what I'm here to tell you is that there's another way. You gotta believe that there's another way, but you gotta be willing to take a bigger risk. You're trying to play it safe. You're trying to do the thing that you know how to do, that you've been doing, that makes you feel comfortable, and you don't want to leave out of that little safe corner. It's okay to come out of that corner. You're still going to have your job. But what happens when you're able to pay off all of your debt? What happens when you can pay your house note off and it doesn't take 30 years? It don't take 30 years. What if you can make double payments for the next 2 years on your house note? How would that change your life? How would that change how long you got to pay on your house? Because that doesn't just take 2 years off your house. If you make one extra payment a year, that takes 7 years off your house note. One full extra payment paid to your principal per year. What if you were paying your regular house note and then that same amount paid onto your principal every single month for 12 months? Think about that. Think about how many years that's going to shave off of your house note. What if you didn't have to pay your car note because your car is paid for? What if your insurance is paid for in 12-month periods? That's what my insurance is paid in, 12-month periods and not in monthly increments. How would that change your monthly bills? See, we got to be able to think bigger. We got to be able to see some things differently. But the reason why we can't see it is because we're limited to the income that we currently have. And we're thinking about the people who we currently know. It's okay if you don't know a lot of decision makers. I didn't know a lot of them either. I'm going to show you how to find the decision makers, how to connect with the decision makers, what it is you need to say, and even the questions that you need to ask when you're talking to them. I'm going to give you all of that, but I can't give it to you. This is not enough time. You need to understand the mindset of the decision maker. You need to understand the mindset that you're currently in and the mindset that you need to move into. And then when you move into that new mindset, you're going to see, oh, this is where I was getting caught up at. So I'm going to teach you how to pitch to decision makers, to find them first of all, and then how to close that contract confidently, because that seems to be the problem. We'll do all of the work of creating a program, putting all of the bells and whistles on the program, pricing the program. Y'all will be done all of that and ain't pitched that program to nobody. Don't even know who to pitch the program to. Don't even know how to do it. And I don't want us to also think that this is just limited to school contracts. You can do this for colleges and universities as well as community-based organizations. Community-based organizations get a lot of grant money in, and they have to spend that grant money for things that their constituents need. You're the people who provide that. Stop overcomplicating this and making it a hard situation. We get wins every day in our mastermind about people who are closing contracts, getting deals, doing gigs. Even if you are making $1,500, that's more than some people making a paycheck. And what would you do with that $1,500 in addition to your paycheck? And that's on a very low end. I want y'all to know that that's on a very low end. $1,500 to do a 2-hour workshop. $1,500 to do a 2-hour workshop. Hey, Melissa. Hey, how are you? $1,500 to do a 2-hour workshop. You can't tell me that's not good money. You cannot tell me that's not good money. I just had one of my clients to call me. Well, she didn't call me. She was doing the little WhatsApp thing. And she said, this company wants me to come. It's a community-based organization. She said they want me to come and they want me to do a presentation. The presentation is for 2 hours and they want to pay me $1,500, but they don't want to pay for my airfare. And I said, so you would turn down $1,500 over a $300 airfare? And she was like, what do you mean? And I said, they're giving you $1,500 and you need to pay for your airfare there. A round trip ticket is $300. You can pay for your round trip ticket and still make $1,200 for 2 hours work. You're not even going to be gone for 8 hours. I said, what time do they want you to be there? She said at 9:30. I said, let's look up flights. So we're doing this all through WhatsApp. I said, let's look up flights. We looked up the flight. She can take a flight that leaves at 5:33 a.m. She will leave at 5:33 a.m. She will make it there at 7:30. That would give her 2 hours to get from the airport to the school. Then I said, now let's look up how close the school is to the airport. 23 minutes. 23 minutes. So then I said, now let's look up what the Uber rate would be. She looked up the Uber rate, $30. I said, push it up to $50 because depending on the time of day, Uber will change their price. And you can also check out Lyft just to be sure. I said, so we're talking about you leaving your home at maybe 3:30, getting to the airport, catching a 5:30 flight, getting off your plane at 7:30, taking an Uber, getting to the school by 9:30, doing your presentation from 9:30 to 11:30, going to get you some lunch that's going to take you an hour or two, or you don't even have to get the lunch. You can get that at the airport, and then taking a flight at 2:30 back home, which will put you back home at 4:30, and you're done for the day, and you made $1,200, and that's frustrating to you that doesn't work for you. And she was like, oh, I didn't think about it from that perspective. I was like, right, because a lot of times we think about, oh, if they're not paying me $5,000 or $8,000, no, go do the day of work. Go do the day of work, a 2-hour workshop. 2 hours. And the key to it is once you do that 2 hours, you do a great job. Now you can pitch them to do additional workshops. And not only that, you can talk to the other schools that's in that system to let them know, I just did this workshop at this school. Would you be available for me to talk to you about doing that same workshop in your school? A lot of times when you're in a school system, they all need the same thing. So you're opening up opportunities. We cannot keep shutting ourselves off. But that's what I mean by the mindset. I'm going to help you with some of that to understand what are good deals, what are bad deals. When somebody's trying to take advantage of you, what does it mean to be a subcontractor on a contract, and how much should they be paying you? What type of agreement should you be entering into, and what type of templates should you be using to sign off on to make it a real agreement? All of these things are things that we're going to talk about in the challenge. But more importantly, we're going to talk about where we go to get these deals from. How do we get these opportunities? How do we make this work? What do we need to do? And so I want us to really begin to think about it. Even when I think about Melissa, if I'm not mistaken, Melissa is looking to do financial literacy. And there is a great need, oh my goodness, for financial literacy. And Melissa, Melissa, let me see if I can find this right quick. Let me see if I can find it right quick, Melissa. Because okay, listen. For another 50 years and have to simultaneously take this. Wait a minute, I want you to listen to this, Melissa. Teachers that still have to clock in. Nothing depresses you more than getting a TRS statement in the mail or calling them people and seeing that you have to work for another 50 years. I'm being sarcastic. In order to be eligible to retire. And then to see that when you're eligible to retire, you're not going to be able to afford to live. So I just got the phone with that lady, and that lady is a TRS people. I call and harass them every 6 months just to check in to see if some type of miracle has occurred. Normally summer and winter break, so I can see if I don't have to return to that motherfucker. But clearly it's all a joke. I'll be returning to that motherfucker for the next 20 years. I can't do it. I do not have it in me. Either I'm going to have to be for real about getting online and applying to a government job, applying for a government job. They're not going to hire me. No. Or I'm going to have to come to grips mentally with the fact that I will be teaching for another 50 years and have to simultaneously take the social media thing a lot more seriously. So yeah, with that being said, could y'all start making sure that y'all watch it? So I want you to, so Melissa, my point in showing you that, and I hope you heard it. Could you hear it, Melissa? Did you see it? If not, you can go and watch her. She's Ridgemont Forest Finest on TikTok. Could y'all hear that video? I don't know if you all could hear it because you know how these systems work. Put it in the chat if you could hear that video. But I want you to really think about, like with Melissa, not just in education, but there are people who are dependent on these retirement funds that they don't understand retirement. Retirement doesn't give you 100% of your salary. In education, most give you 30%, and 40% is the average. And then you're doing really good if you get 50% of your pay. There has only been one system that I've heard of that gave 80% of their pay, and it was a complicated system. Okay, so these folks need to know early and in advance. We need some training, and if I could be honest, especially us Black folks, because this just wasn't a lot of our reality. Most of us are doing better than our parents were doing. And so, Melissa, that is an opportunity for you. If you start out just serving and just supporting and just educating people on things that they can do. And if I'm remembering Melissa, the way I think I am, Melissa has experience in helping people get real estate mortgages and all of that type of stuff. Do you know how many teachers want to buy a house and they buy houses that are not going to appreciate? They don't know how to go get the loan. They don't, you know what I'm saying? We keep putting stuff off. And so with the expertise that you have, you can sell this, and you can do programs in community-based organizations to help the community. You can go into domestic violence shelters and talk to these women about help. You got to help them to have the dream, Melissa. A lot of these people who have been in domestic violence situations, they don't believe that they can ever own their own home. They don't believe that they'll ever be able to be restored from what was taken from them. Melissa says exactly, if you're not debt free and have a big nest egg when you retire, you'll be on the struggle bus in your twilight years. Absolutely. But a lot of people don't realize that, Melissa. I will tell you that I did not know that because I was doing what they told me to do. They told me to go to work, show up every day. They took 15%. It was like, we started out at like 12.5. And by the time I left, they were taking out 14.5% of my check every 2 weeks to go into my pension. And I'm thinking, wow, they taking 14.5%. I'm gonna be good when I retire. And mind you, I was a school administrator. So I'm thinking I'm gonna be good. No, that was not the case. They told me that after 17 years of being a principal and making over $100,000 a year, that my little income was gonna be like $3,300 a month. And I was like, but what are you talking about? I make like $8,000 a month. What are we talking about? And I was like, I can't do this. And that was going to be 33 at 30 years, not at 17 years. They told me this at 17 years, but I didn't know this. Why didn't they tell me this ahead of time? And you think that because you're contributing, because you're putting in, that you're doing the right thing. And then they say, well, contribute to other things. Well, I can't afford to live off what you're giving me. Now you're telling me to take some out of that and to contribute more? No, I don't have that ability. But if we were bringing in more income, we could make that work. But we're trying to do all of this. We're trying to take care of a family, pay a house note, pay a car note, take care of kids, pay for school athletics, pay for lunches, and all this off of one check. It's just hard to do. It's hard to do. And nobody ever tells us, nobody ever says, let's work on creating more income. Our parents told us to go to work, stay on that job for 30 years. You got a good job, stay there. That's what they told us. Most of our parents did not tell us, baby, you got to create some more income. You got to make your money make money. Nobody tells us that. They tell us to save for a rainy day. They didn't tell us you need to be investing in the stock market since 18. See, I'm telling my boys that now. My boys are about to open a fundraise account. They're about to open a fundraise account where they're going to be buying real estate at 18 and 19. But nobody told me that. And they have a Charles Schwab account, which they put a portion of all of their checks into that they're not allowed to touch until they're 30. But nobody told me that. Nobody. That's what I'm telling you, Melissa. Melissa, you have something. You got to believe that you have something, and you got to be willing to invest in it. You got to know that people need this. I'm sitting here talking to you as somebody who has a doctoral degree, who has rise through the levels, who is a national board certified teacher, who has done many things. I've done many things. I've worked in corporate. I've worked in behavior analysis. I've done many things, okay? I've done a smart person, but income literacy is not being taught. It's not being taught in schools. Our parents didn't have it. And so a lot of people don't want to talk about this. We got to talk about it, people. And so, Melissa, you got to believe in your program. You got to believe in yourself, and you got to start doing and not just talking about it. Host a workshop, host an online event. No, we're not always going to get 50, 100 people in it. But if you can help two, that's two who can now talk to two more, and that gives you the experience. See, we got to get these reps in. We got to do those sit-ups, y'all. We got to get those reps in Nobody wants to get the reps in. Do you think that when I started doing my consultant, as a matter of fact, let me just tell y'all, somebody told me when I first got going, and this really helped me. They said, do you remember, because I cook, y'all know I cook. So they said, do you make pancakes? I said, I absolutely do. And they said, so tell me how you make your pancakes. So I'm going through the process of making the pancakes. Y'all know I like stuff from scratch. I don't like that box stuff. I will use box stuff, but if I can make it from scratch, I'm going to make it from scratch. So I'm talking about how I make the pancakes. And then they said, so what do you do when you get ready to cook it? I said, I put the oil in the skillet, let the skillet get really hot, and then I pour my batter into the skillet. And they said, so on the first round, do you make a bunch of pancakes, or do you make on your first portion that you put in the grease? I said, no, I normally only put one in because that sets the temperature. I said that pancake is normally not going to be perfect. It's not going to be good because I'm setting the temperature. I'm figuring out if the grease is too hot, when I need to flip over, when the bubbles are going to bubble up. So a lot of times that first pancake is going to go into the trash can. But then that second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, now I'm good to go. A lot of y'all don't understand that your first pancake is probably trash. And your second one is going to be a little better. Third one's going to be better. By the time you get to your fifth or sixth pancake, baby, you flipping and you flopping and you ready to go. It's the same thing with consulting. Your first pitch is probably going to be awkward. It's going to be difficult. You're going to feel like you messed that whole thing up. But then you're going to do that second one. You're going to get a little better because you're going to be able to anticipate what they're going to say. Then you're going to do your third one. Then it's going to get a little better. And so you need to throw the first pancake away. But a lot of us want to do the first one. It was bad. They didn't buy. We do the second one. It was bad. They didn't buy. And then we quit. We run because we don't like the idea of not being successful. Oh, Melissa said, yes, I did my first Lunch and Learn webinar on Wednesday. Come on, Melissa, action taker. And she said 4 people came. Melissa, I am so proud of you. I know you are proud of yourself. 4 people came. Melissa, tell me how you felt after that. And Melissa, you were in the December event. So was this the goal that you set from the December event? This is amazing. Yay. Come on, Melissa. She did it, y'all. So Melissa was recently in a 3-day workshop with me on, again, how to sell your services. And you pick a path about how you want to sell. Melissa definitely has something. A lot of us, we have this expertise. And it's not that somebody has to come to you and appoint you this person. You know what you've done for yourself. You know what you've done for others. And so you can help other people. If you're in that classroom and you had the highest test results, you did something in particular that you can teach to other teachers. If you know that you always have a great inclusive classroom environment, you know how to help other people have a great inclusive classroom environment. One of the things I did, I took the 2018 class. I think it was 2018. No, it was 2016. I took the 2016 class to the presidential inauguration when President Barack Obama was being inaugurated. And it was a whole big spectacle. And so do you know how many people called me afterwards to see if I would help them to set up a group trip out of town that they wanted to take to different monuments and even to mimic the trip that we took? And at that time, I didn't understand that I could get paid for that. Remember, this was in 2016. I didn't know how to transition from, yeah, I did it. And I got all of my paperwork. I got all of my templates. I got all of my emails that I sent out to the senators and all of the people. We had Don Lemon from CNN on the bus with us. He highlighted our entire trip. If any of y'all remember, we were the school that was in the gold coats. All of us had on the same coats, black and gold, U City Lions. We were the ones who were with Don Lemon the whole time. He rode the bus with us. He was at the hotel with us. He did the whole thing with us. So when people were calling, I didn't understand how to transition from I'm the assistant principal at this high school, but I planned this trip, but y'all want me to plan y'all trip. And I don't know if I can do that because that's outside of my contract. Come on into this challenge. Let me show you how. Melissa says, yes, that was my goal. I felt so refreshed and rejuvenated because I did what I know I'm supposed to do. And then she goes on to say, it feels good to exercise my purpose. That's what I'm talking about. And this could be any of you all. And Melissa might have to do a couple of them for free, but at the end of it, Melissa, I hope that you pitch the idea to work with them to develop a personal income plan for them, or a personal savings plan, or a personal budget, or something like that. Melissa said he is an entire vibe. Yes, he is. Yeah, and y'all only get to see him on TV. We were in the real place with him. I learned so much about Don Lemon during that time. At first, I was a bit nervous because he's this big celebrity on TV, and here I am, got 50 kids who I gotta, make sure they're in the right place and doing what they need to do. And he has the greatest sense of humor. He's just a regular person, and he is a clown. Do you hear me? He is a clown. We were laughing so hard at one point, I thought I was gonna get in trouble, because we were having so much fun. And my principal was looking at me like, now y'all having too much fun. I don't know if this is really professional. When I say we were having so much fun, Don Lemon was a complete fool. Okay. Just a genuine, nice guy, great sense of humor, very generous, very down to earth, not stuffy at all. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. But that experience showed me that people will pay you for what you don't think they will pay you for. Have a great day at work. So, y'all get signed up. The link is attached to the video. I'll also put it in the description. I keep forgetting to put it in the comments of the YouTube video, but I will put it in there. What did she say? She said, yes, it was free with an invite to work with me as a coach or get a financial wellness consult. Absolutely. And so we just got to keep doing this. And there's strength in numbers. There is strength in numbers. And so I'm telling y'all, get into this, get your first contract challenge. And that contract can be with schools, colleges, universities. I really think that Melissa needs to be pitching her services to those education majors in undergrad as well as graduate programs, going in to do a workshop for them, helping them to understand teacher pay, retirement, and all of that before it even starts. Because guess what? They don't know. They just don't think they're making $40,000, $50,000 a year. And they're going to think I make more than the average person, because a lot of them, they're going to be making more than the average person. They don't know. So there are so many options for you. So Dr. Marquita says, I can see that. Yes, he is a ball. She says, my goal is to do it every Wednesday. Right. Do it every Wednesday. Pitch the offer. You'll see that more and more people, but more importantly, you're going to be building your email list, and now you can talk to them at any time. And always follow up in email. You need to follow up in email. Don't worry about the ones who unsubscribe from you. If they unsubscribe, that's because they were not your person anyway. If what you're saying is getting on their nerves, they shouldn't be on your list anyway, and that's okay. Don't get mad or feel bad or feel a certain way when they unsubscribe. That means that we were not a match. The people who are a match for me, they're looking for my emails to see what my next offering is so that they can work with me. Because if you can't make it into the mastermind, and the mastermind is a total solution, it's going to give you everything. But if you can't quite make it into the mastermind, these small offerings that I do help you to be able to move to the next level. Just like Melissa was able to come to the December event, and she's already been able to launch her workshop, have 4 participants, and pitch her program. Y'all, this is the way we make money. We don't go to a job, work 40 hours, go back the next week, work 40 more hours, and then wait for a paycheck to come. That's not what we do. We go and we pitch our services and we make income on a daily basis. So we got to begin to think a little differently. Melissa says, I did. I sent the recording. Yes, send the recording and then follow up some more. Check in to see how they're doing. Are they implementing what you all talked about? See what questions do they have and all those types of things. But more importantly, girl, use the follow-up method, the game method that I taught you in the workshop. Okay. Don't forget about that. You just had a workshop. You had 4 people to attend. You should be using that game method to follow up with them, using that methodology and that format and template to follow up with them and to invite them to things and to introduce new offers and stuff. So y'all, I guess we don't have any questions. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. If not, I'm going to go on and let y'all go. I appreciate y'all hanging in here with me. If you know anybody who could benefit from this challenge, please, please, please share my information and share this on your pages. If nothing else, you need to help serve other people. So share this on your page, and especially our educators. Y'all don't be gatekeepers. Don't do that. Let other people know how to get out here and bring additional income into their households. Share this on your page. Let them know that, and just put the video up. They'll see my face and they'll be like, "What this lady talking about?" And they'll stop and listen. So it don't cost you anything to share. We're always saying, "How can I help you? How can I give back to you?" You can give back to me by sharing my video. That's what you can do. You can give back to me by referring me to other people, by I want educators to know that we don't have to live like this, that there are options. And I want us to know, I was just talking to someone in Texas, and they work in the Texas Education Agency. And I said, "How much money do y'all spend on professional development per year?" Do y'all want to know that she said we spend $200 per student? Every student in the state of Texas, $200 is allocated per student. So think about a Texas school with 5,000 students in it. They get $200 per student to develop the teachers. So she said that's how we typically calculate. So she said, if you want it the other way, it's 3% of our annual budget. She said, but that roughly accounts for $200 for every student in our school. That goes into a fund for professional development. And you want to sit and think that there's not enough money. Schools don't have money to pay teachers' salary, but schools have money to pay consultants and for the services that they need. Schools have money to pay business to business, but they're not paying employees. There's a big difference. So that's all I got. I ain't got no more. I hope this has been helpful. Share this out. Get into this challenge, and I will